Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 144 for Tuesday the 15th of November 2022. I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
It's been a long time. It's number one Stuntmaster.
Every fucking week. It's sensational.
I get the enthusiasm from you every week when I do listen to the podcast. I don't listen to it all the time. I'm sorry to say, and it's like I'm here again, another week. You're part of the furniture, mate. You know.
That's it, Darren. We're never going to lose you ever. You're here until retirement. That's it.
The enthusiasm's just through the roof, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've got no Nick this week. He's let us down, hasn't he?
He's working, isn't he?
Old reliable Nick, something like that. Yeah, he's out and about doing things. That's all I'm going to say. So, Stunty, it's nice to have you on. We haven't had you on for ages.
Yeah, I've had. I'm not going to go too much into my personal life, but
no.
I've had quite a difficult time, to be honest. My life's been a bit difficult for quite a long time, actually, and it got quite down, quite depressing, and I'm now through the worst of it, and I'm actually very, very happy at the moment. Actually, I'm very happy at the moment.
Ooh.
For the next hour or so.
He's taking drugs. That's why he's so happy.
So, no, things are for the first time in a long time. Things are looking really good, and I'm just happy. Let's just hope it continues.
Yeah.
Because I even sort of stopped gaming for quite a bit as well. Sort of nothing was grabbing me, and I don't know. I just couldn't. When you go through a certain situation in your life, you don't really want to game anyway.
Yeah.
You don't really want to do anything, to be honest. But now I've got my mojo's come back a bit. Yeah, at the moment, it's not completely back. It's probably because of the games I'm playing. Certain things at the moment aren't really grabbing me.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's really good. So I'm the happiest I've been for years. That's all I'm going to say. So it's really good.
Oh, fantastic news, Stunty. Fantastic news. Happy for you, mate.
Yeah.
It's good. It's hard to talk about things without going into specifics sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's just say things in your personal life that you don't really expect to happen, and
yeah, I know
sometimes it can be a godsend, and then also you don't really know where you're going to be, but it's actually worked out all right. But yeah, my life's been a bit. I mean, it's not been great for years, to be honest. It's been up and down. But no, for the first time, it's actually it's looking good, looking really
fantastic,
good,
mate.
And I'm still playing the PlayStation. So for all you Xbox fanboys, sorry.
Didn't you sell your Xbox?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah, I did sell the. That was back in June. I did sell the Series X because I just wasn't using it.
Yeah,
and it was a case of. I needed some money at the time because I've got an old camper van. I needed some wheels for the camper van. I didn't have a lot of money laying around, so I wanted some wheels for that. So the money I sold the Xbox for, I used on the car, on the van. But I did actually buy another Xbox. I was quite lucky. Someone I know had a Xbox One X, which is the one before the Series X.
Old school.
And they didn't. Well, it's not that old, is it really? I mean, and they sold me that really cheap. And yeah, I use that. I mean, I'll talk about one game I play on the Xbox. But yeah, no, it's right. I'll be honest, I do actually like the Xbox One X. It's a really nice looking console.
I love the look of it. It's the best of the three, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah, it's nice and small.
They definitely took. Actually, I'm trying to remember what the 1S used to look like. to be honest. But I know that Series S is basically more modelled after the One X, isn't it?
Mm.
I like the
But,
Series X, to be honest. It's just a big, beefy box that just
It looks like a
oozes
speaker.
power.
Yeah.
It looks like a speaker.
Bluetooth speaker, doesn't it? Yeah, because I've got a Bluetooth speaker that's probably actually the Bluetooth speaker I've got is bigger than that actually, but it looks a bit like it. But no, I just like the Xbox One X. It's a nice console. I did notice it's a little bit more noisy than what the Series X was, and it was a little bit slower. I noticed for loading, but then it's probably not that slow compared to other people that got Xbox One X's because there's not much on it. I only have a couple of games on it anyway. I don't use Game Pass still. I've got no reason to use it because there's nothing really on there that appeals to me. But
There is.
well, there might be.
Have you got Game Pass at the moment or not?
No, I haven't got.
Oh right, no. I was going to say.
No, and I'll be honest. There's nothing. I mean, Xbox is still, even though they're buying everyone up, they still haven't really released anything. I'm thinking, I've got to go and buy the Series X. So
Yeah, it's an odd position because, I remember when Microsoft were making a big thing, look at all these game developers and publishers we've bought. They've bought a lot and there's still no games. Like, it's odd, isn't it? For the exclusives.
But, I'll probably get one at some point in the future. I did have a bit of a dig about the Series X, which Microsoft have now changed, and it wasn't always online console. And that really fucked me off because even the PlayStation 5, if you lose your internet, you can still use the thing. Okay, you can't use, I'm not sure how it works with the PS Plus stuff, but you could still just put a disc in and it would play it. But the Xbox One X, you couldn't. If you put your game in or you had a game in there, it wouldn't play. It had to be on the internet. But I know Microsoft has now backtracked on that, and they've now actually updated the console because I know there was a big thing on Digital Foundry about it. But yeah, they have backtracked on that because I know everyone says, "Oh yeah, but the internet's always on." Yeah, the internet is always on, but there's also the chance that Microsoft goes down or Sony goes down because it does happen now and again. And I don't know, maybe you think, you go on holiday, go down to the coast or somewhere in this country and you think, I'll take my console with me. Oh, fuck it won't work because there's no internet because where I'm going to is, sort of back in the 80s still. So, but no, they've backtracked on it. I probably will pick one up at some point. I've got no reason to at the moment. I'm quite happy with the X. It's nice and small. It sits underneath the telly. It does the job perfect for me, so I'm quite happy with it really. So and I got a white one as well, so I was well chuffed because it was at the time when I was in the spare room, I used to have all my consoles were white. So I had a PS5 that was white, I had the Xbox One X, it's One X, that's white, and I even had a PS3 that was white. So it was nice. I had all these white consoles, and then I had the Switch that was fucking red and blue. Completely destroyed it. It was like a fucking rainbow. But there we go. I just like white consoles. I don't know why. I think it's because you don't show the dirt. Black always sort of gets smearing. You get this scratch effect on black consoles.
I used to get it on, like, say, the George Foreman PS3 when you got that shiny
they were that
thing,
bad.
but like they've gone more of the matte now, which is good, so you don't really get as much the smearing or the scratching when you're sort of like cleaning them.
Yeah, the Wii U was another one because that was black as well, and that used to get scratched.
I think it's the type of plastic they use.
Yeah, the only thing with the white ones though is, I don't know if it's still the same today, but anything that was white from the 80s looked like someone had smoked, 60 fags all over it.
Yeah.
SNESes. But I'm not sure if these will do the same, if they will sort of start to go yellow. I don't know. My PlayStation 3 that's sat down there, that still looks nice in white. Not that I've turned it on for ages, but
Cool, mate.
Mm.
Cool. Right, let's talk about some games, some video games. If you've been listening, then Stunty, you know that we've been doing like a round robin, talk about a game at a time.
Yeah.
Each. So I'm going to start off then with I've got to get it out the way. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Playing that at the moment. Still really enjoying it. However, I've got a little bugbear with it. As people who have been playing COD know, Warzone is out on Wednesday, which means the first season starts on Modern Warfare 2 as well, which is all fine. However, I maxed out my character to level 55 weeks ago. So I've been trying not to play it as much as I want because, like, the weird thing about Call of Duty is you're always playing kind of to earn something. So, you know, you're unlocking your gun skins, you're leveling up your guns, you're getting the attachments, which is fine. But for your actual character progression, it's felt like a little bit of wasted time because you're at level 55, so all the XP you're earning and the day, like, because you get dailies to do as well for extra XP, is well, there's no point in doing them because that XP is just going out into the ether because it's not working on, you know, leveling up your dude. So when the season starts and when Warzone launches on Wednesday, I think the level cap's been increased and you're able to prestige as well. So then the XP will start to mean something again. But it's just annoying that I know at the minute, you know, I've put a lot of hours into the game where the XP's just not been utilised. Yeah.
So this Call of Duty, the new Warzone that's coming out on Wednesday, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the free one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this one because the new map looks quite cool. Within the new Warzone map, there's a lot of the classic maps within the actual big map, if that makes sense, like the layouts, which is quite cool. So there'll be some familiar areas for people within the Warzone map. I'm also really looking forward to the DMZ mode. So for those of you that don't know, it's like the Tarkov mode in Call of Duty. So basically, it's its own separate thing. So you buy loadouts, so you buy your guns and your loadouts and shit like that, and you take them into the game, and you've got to like get loot or whatever, and get out without dying. Because if you die in the game, you lose everything, and you have to buy new weapons, buy new gear, all you know, all the stuff you picked up, you lose. So there's a bit of a risk reward thing in there. And somehow it's tied to the Spec Ops mode that's currently in Call of Duty, which is the co-op mode, which is actually really good. So at the minute, there's 3 co-op missions. On Wednesday, they're adding another one, which is so there'll be 4. So there's actually quite a lot of content in Modern Warfare 2 coming, as well as there already is quite a bit of content in it at the moment, but yeah, just obviously until Wednesday, it doesn't feel like a full-assed game at the moment. I mean, it's good. I'm enjoying it, playing it a lot, like literally every day. I'm playing it, because I'm just having a lot of fun with it. You know, just I really like the maps, and I like in the unlocks on the guns, and because it's making you use a variety of weapons because there's an incentive to do so. So because usually in Call of Duties I kind of like find a gun or two and just stick with it and then don't experiment. But this is forcing you to experiment, which I think is quite a good thing, really. So and it's good for the community because, you know, I've been playing with people in the community very often, which is really, really good as well, and the crossplay works well. So yeah, I'm loving it, man. It's absolutely brilliant. It's my multiplayer game of choice, and I think it will be for a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind picking it up actually at some point. I did notice because I've got a load of CEX vouchers, and they're actually selling it in CEX for the same price it is to buy brand new. So I thought, well, that's not bad actually, is it? In the end, it makes a change from CEX. So
Oh no.
I might actually pick it up at some point if I can find one in the CEX. It's not far away from me.
Yeah. Well, I'd be surprised. I mean, I'd be surprised if CEX has many because that would mean people have traded it in, and
Quite
obviously,
a few if you go
yeah,
online. Yeah, it's quite a few. There wasn't one local to me, but all the ones that sort of Brighton, Worthing, all of them, yeah, they all had them in there.
Okay, that's interesting.
Maybe they get it. I mean, have they done a deal where you buy a PlayStation or an Xbox and you get the game with it.
Yes, yeah, I think there is. But I'm not sure if it's a code in a box though or physical copy. I'm not sure.
I know God of War has come out, and that's because there's a console with that, and I noticed that's a code in the box because someone was moaning about that the other day. I saw.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. That's just how they get away with the so they can get away with people not trading them in. Yeah, yeah. So oh yeah. So on PlayStation news as well, Colin picked up a PS5 this week, which I was very surprised about. But he's not allowed to open it until Christmas. Yeah, but that's a good Christmas present. He's got a PS5 with the new God of War, so that'll be a good Christmas plan. That I think.
Yeah, I might pick it up for Christmas actually to play over Christmas.
Oh, nice, very nice. Yeah, so that's one of my games down of many. So what about you, Stunty?
Right, yeah. The first game I'll start with is The Quarry.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've played quite a few of the other games. I've played Until Dawn, Man and Medan, and Little Hope. And there's one more that I haven't played. Until Dawn's probably still my favourite of them all. What was the one on the boat? Was that's
Man and Medan, yeah.
Yeah, that was all right. I quite liked Man and Medan. Little Hope was all right. Little Hope, I didn't.
Yeah, I had a good ending. I thought that had a good twist at the end.
All right.
I'm not going to say obviously spoil it for people, but yeah.
Yeah. So I picked up The Quarry because my daughter kept banging on about it because she's been watching a playthrough. Oh, I really want to play. I really want to play, and she's watched the whole playthrough because there's been a few, the YouTubers that are playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked it up and started it, and I thought, this is really fucking slow, really slow. And all the characters were just annoying little shits, as in they're all sort of like early 20s. And I thought, I don't think this game's for me, as in like, I don't think it's been for my age group, old fuck, so but I've stuck with it. And yeah, I'm quite enjoying it now. I'm up to chapter 7, so I'm getting through the game. Yeah, it's all right. It's got a lot better, but it's just so slow at the beginning.
Yeah, it takes a bit for the story to kick in, yeah.
Yeah, and it just, I like it, but it's no way as good as the other ones at the moment, in my impression. Maybe it might change by the end, but yeah, it's good. It's playable, but it's just not grabbing me as much as I expected it to.
Oh, I'm quite surprised because I really enjoyed The Quarry. Actually, I finished it twice. Once with a playthrough with four of us, and then once on my own. And I always find those sort of games are more enjoyable playing with other people because they make decisions for the characters that you perhaps wouldn't do. So it just makes it a lot more entertaining. So and there's a new one out in a week or two actually as well. The Devil in Me.
Is that one
the
of
Dark
the
Pictures? Dark Pictures, yeah.
Okay.
I actually think I prefer the Dark Pictures games to the Quarry. I've played them all. I really like them, but I think as a standalone, the Quarry was is a good game. But yeah.
There is a few issues with the game as well. I mean, I've got the PS4 version.
Ooh.
Well, no, there's no difference. No, I looked this up. I had a read on it because the PS4 version I got it for about 20 quid, I think it was. And the PS5 version was 30 quid. And there was an upgrade you could get on the store for a £5 just to upgrade it to the PS5 version. And I put, I did a check on it because I thought, let's just see if it does any graphical update, upgrades. No, they said there's no upgrades on it at all. The only thing is it just run a bit faster. Yeah, I mean it does stutter at times on the as in on the PS4 version.
Yeah,
probably because it's running off an external hard drive on my PlayStation. But graphically wise, it looks nice. The only thing I do come across that does my head in a little bit is when you're in this. There's like a third person mode where you're sort of moving along with the characters.
You walk,
And
yeah, the camera's a bit shit, isn't it?
yeah, the camera's a bit shit, and it doesn't really show you a lot of view. It's quite small, the view. And sometimes, I mean, you can move your character and it looks like they've shat themselves as they walk. So it's still quite robotic, some of the movements they do. So, that's probably about the only thing I will say. But I mean, that's just me just picking holes in it. But no, it's all right. I mean, as I say, I nearly gave up with it because I got up to about chapter 3, and I said to my daughter, I said, "Is this game going to move on in a minute?" I said, "Because this has just got so much filler on this, and it's just." These annoying shits. And I even said to my daughter, I said, "Oh, who out of these do you want to survive?" I said, "None of them. I want them all to die." But, it has got better. I will say that. I'll probably try and see if I can finish it this week because now I've started to get into it. It's a lot better.
Excellent.
So, there we go.
Awesome. Darren.
Nice. I won't obviously get into the big one until a bit later on.
Yep. Good
Just
man.
for
Good
the
man.
flavour, as it were.
Yep.
But yeah, I did finish the main game of Vermintide 2.
Oh, excellent.
And also 2 of the sort of expansion campaigns, Curse of the Drachenfels,
Okay.
and something Bulkhaven, or something like that, I think it's called. Because there's like a total of 3 extra ones plus like an extra game mode that they added.
Right. Oh, okay.
The game, and I will say some of the levels for these DLCs, or for the 2 that I've done anyway, they're pretty cool locations that actually they take place in.
Okay.
On the Curse of Drachenfels one, you're basically working your way up through a village towards this big castle on top of a mountain in the distance.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it's all cinematic, like with the sort of like lightning over it and everything, like proper old school fantasy style. And I think it's over 3 levels. You obviously, the second one you're getting closer, and the third level you actually fight inside the castle
Oh, nice.
against like this. I think it's the Necromancer. And while you're in there, you can hear all of the characters basically mumbling to themselves and sort of saying, and what it is depending on which character you're playing, this spirit's talking to you and trying to bring out obviously the fears of the character and everything.
Oh, okay. That's
Like
interesting.
worming their way into their minds and stuff. Because occasionally your NPCs basically like shout out something and everyone's like, "What are you on about?" And they're like, nothing.
Uh,
It's
That's funny.
kind of cool. But yeah, it's just hammering through most of it because obviously the new one's out at the end of the month, or the new game in this kind of series, the Warhammer Dark Tide.
Yeah, because
So
they
I don't think I'll be revisiting Vermintide too much after that comes out.
no, I mean they actually gave out Vermintide 2 for free on PC last week as well.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
it was either you was saying or Elliot was saying, because I
Elliot
was
was
chatting
saying,
to him
yeah,
after we recorded the
yeah,
special last week.
yeah,
Was it on
which I'm a little
PlayStation?
bit annoyed about because I fucking bought it
You
when it
paid
come out
for
and I've
it.
hardly played it.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, these things happen.
I mean, it's still a really good game, still really well polished and fun. It can, on some of the levels where you're trying to look for a lot of the collectibles and pickups, because there's a lot of them dotted about
Yeah.
on
Okay.
some of them. And while you're trying to do that, you get the horde waves that seem like they're almost every minute. And you're just like, oh, here we
Okay.
go again. Here we go again. It's good that they mixed it up though a little bit, because obviously in the original Vermintide it was just literally Skaven, hence Vermintide.
Okay.
And in the second game you also fight Chaos, but then in one of the extra bits that they added to Vermintide a bit later, I believe, where you go on like these expeditions. You
Okay,
can
yeah.
fight like beastmen as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just good that they mixed up the enemy variety a little bit, so it's just not too samey.
Yeah, that's good.
You obviously have there's multiple types of bosses as well or mini bosses you come across that used to be like just a giant rat that I remember in the first one.
Okay.
Now you get like sort of like chaos creatures and stuff as well, and I suppose you could say Nurgle's in it a little bit, with like the zombies and the chaos, etc. But yeah, I'm really looking
Nice.
forward to Dark Side actually. The closer we get, it's only a few weeks away now, end of the month.
Yeah,
I
it's
never,
that
I
close
never.
already. Wow.
Yeah, it's a freebie for you, isn't it? Game Pass.
Oh, bloody is it? I
Game,
didn't even know
game,
that. Oh,
yeah, it's a
nice.
Game Pass game.
Ver-
Fantastic.
Vermintide 2, I think that was on PlayStation at some point. I don't know if it still is, but it was. I do remember seeing it on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I mean it came out digitally way before physical, which is why the physical release was like a sort of edition that came with extra campaign content, which is on there. I mean, looking at I think the achievements for the game at the moment, it's got 2,250 gamer score,
Right.
and it obviously would have only launched with 1,000, so the rest of it's all just extra content.
Is this in the Warhammer world?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, just normal Warhammer, not 40k. Just the
It doesn't
standard
mean
sword
anything
and
to me.
sorcery style.
No
All
idea.
right. You never used to collect like the Warhammer figures, lead figures, all that sort of
No,
stuff.
never been into Warhammer. Don't know nothing about Warhammer at all.
I used to love all the lead figures and stuff when I was a kid. Obviously, they're made out of plastic now because you can't have like lead stuff.
I know there's a lot of money in it, as in people buy and spend a lot of money on it.
Mm.
I know that. Because I see it when you go into, because they're doing a lot of different places of Warhammer stuff now. Because I've even seen it in supermarkets as well, like little small sort of convenience stores. They have like a big
Yeah.
display of all Warhammer stuff. So it's quite.
Yeah.
They used to sell White Dwarf magazine in supermarkets as well. Like I don't know whether they still do, which was basically like the official sort of like Warhammer magazine that they used to do, and it'd show you everyone's painted figurines and dioramas that they'd created, etc. It used to show you how to create your own little sort of like houses and stuff for them and everything. Because if you're playing the game properly, like tabletop style, it's a lot more different than sort of like a standard board game. Especially if you went into like the 40k stuff, you'd have to have special things to show you how far a flamethrower's unit would go out and the dice roll to what the affected area would be and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, well, I know, like, a lot of people just spend their time just painting the figures, don't they? Like hours and hours and hours.
You can also get sort of larger scale versions of the figures now,
Ah, okay.
which would make them a hell of a lot easier to paint because they are quite small to get all that kind of detail on some of them.
Yeah.
And back in the day when you'd have obviously the lead ones and that, maybe even still with the plastic ones now, you could actually stab someone proper with like the swords and stuff because they're quite sharp and pointed. But anyway, that's me done. Bit of Vermintide 2 just before Dark Tide washes over us.
The only thing I remember of Warhammer that I think I've ever played is Space Marine.
Oh, what a game! What a game!
But that was like a Gears of War clone, wasn't it?
That was fucking awesome. Though.
They're doing a sequel to that as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's coming to Game Pass, isn't it? I think.
I'm not sure.
I think it might be.
I know it was announced a little while back. It might have even been at a previous Game Awards that it was shown off, actually.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move on because I've got quite a bit of ground to cover. So, it was my go, wasn't it? Yeah. So, so I played a new game this week, guys. A brand new release, and it's a surprise hit for me. It's probably going to be up there in my game of the year, which I'm really surprised about. And that game is Sonic Frontiers.
I've heard a lot of
You picked it up, did you?
Yeah, picked up on the Switch. Perfect
Ah.
system for it, yeah. Even though I probably wish I'd got it on Xbox, because the frame rate is double on the Xbox. But the Switch has been getting a little bit of love this week from me and my boy, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers is easily, in my opinion, the best 3D Sonic game ever made. It is absolutely phenomenal. I'm astounded at how good it is. I really am. It's a little bit like an RPG in some aspects as well. So basically, it's kind of open world, but at the same time, it isn't. So I played it for about 8 hours and I've only just got to the second area. And it really shocked me because I was under the impression, because the first area, open world area, was so big and there was so much to do. I thought that was the game, that first open world area. And then I was going through the story and I unlocked the second open world area and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, there's more. Oh my god, how big is this game? It is massive. And it's just on a grand scale because it's really hard to describe. So you've got the open world and you've got to collect these certain items to talk to your friends who are trapped in cyberspace, so like Amy, Knuckles, Tails, and all that. So like for Amy, you've got to collect a load of hearts, and then you need then you talk to her, and then you find Amy in another area, but then you need a certain amount of more hearts to talk to her. So you collect these hearts for Amy by doing certain challenges throughout the open world. So in the open world, you've got puzzles that you can do. You've got these like crazy challenges to do, and they're just dotted around in odd areas. And you're thinking, so how the hell do I get up there? And then you just manage to figure it out. But also within the world, there's like these like obelisk totem, like big tall tower totem things. And this is where it becomes like classic Sonic in a weird way. Like, so they're like levels, and so in the first world, it's kind of like the open world is kind of green. So the levels in the obelisks are like styled off Green Hill Zone. Yeah. And some of the levels are 3D and they work really well. They're super fast and they're just absolute joy to play. And then some of them are 2D, which is really, really cool as well, but with kind of a 3D twist to them. And all the levels are really good, but there's certain challenges to do on these levels. So you need to... So basically, when you complete a level, you get these items. So you can get up to 4 of these items by completing the level. So you get one for completing the level under a certain amount of time, one of them for completing the level with X amount of rings, and so forth and so forth. So you get up to 4 there's keys, right? And you need these keys to get the Chaos Emeralds. So it's not a Sonic game without the Chaos Emeralds, right? So then the way to kind of finish one of the this is how you finish the first open world area, is to get all of the Chaos Emeralds in that open world area. Because once I got the last Chaos Emerald, it was like, oh, you need to go to this place and do this, and then something happens. I'm not going to say because it'll spoil it for people. But also throughout the open world area, there's boss battles. So there's these massive bosses, and it's like what's that PlayStation game with the big giants? Kind of reminded me of that.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, so basically there's these giant enemies where you have to climb up them, like run up them in certain ways to get up to the top of them, to like hit them in the head or to collect something or just to defeat them. And they like when you're fighting them, it just feels epic because they're so much bigger than you, and you've got to physically run up them to get up to their head to to do damage. It just feels like an epic fight, and some of them have lasted quite a while, which is quite cool. But bearing in mind, some of them can be quite challenging as well, because like any Sonic game, right, you get hit and you lose your rings. So you collect your rings. You can you can hold, like at the beginning, you can hold up to 400 rings. And then every time you get hit, you lose, I don't know, say 80 or something like that. So basically, then all the rings fall on the floor and then you can only collect a certain sample of them. But as I was saying, the game is quite RPG-ish. So there's other collectibles in the open world zone. And there's these characters you need to go to give these collectibles. And these collectibles then give you the ability to choose upgrades for Sonic. So you can upgrade your health, upgrade how much damage you do, how fast you can run. Yeah. So obviously, so then, and they all go up to level 99. So there's a lot of upgrading to do. Also, you unlock new skills for Sonic as you play through the game as well. So you get extra abilities. So like one of them, as an example, gives you the ability to hold down the Y button on this. I'm talking about the Switch here, and then as you're running, you do like a circle, and then like if you connect that circle, it does damage to the area of enemies within that circle. You unlock combo moves because it's not like a classic Sonic where you just jump on their heads, right? You've got like an attack button, so you'll be punching and kicking your enemies. And then you can combo like a jump and a hit together to do other moves and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a kind of a tactical fighting game in there as well. So there's a lot of elements to this game. I just think they've done such an amazing job of it, because every time I think of a 3D Sonic game, I just think, oh, I just think back to Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. And I know a lot of people regard it as this epic game, but you try playing it now, and even at the time, I just thought it wasn't that great. But yeah, they've done such a good job with this. It's just, I mean, even on the Switch, I mean, it runs at 30 FPS, but I still think it runs well. It looks good on all the platforms. I've watched some videos comparing all the platforms, and I think it looks good on all the systems. I mean, there's pop-in and stuff, but you look past that because the game is just so fun. And the open world is just crazy. Like if you watch a review video of it or just some gameplay, it's just like there's all these. There's just so much to do because you've got the open world. You've got all these things you can like glide on, and you're doing loop-de-loops. You can find secret ways to do things. Everything can just be done so fast, as in a Sonic game. Because when you think of an open world, sometimes in games you think, oh, I'm just going to be running around and that's it. But there's so much to do. So much in the areas. It's unbelievable. So you're constantly being entertained. I mean, I've got to the second open area, which is a desert type area. And then you can select on the map like which area you want to go. Like you can quick travel to, and it gives you a percentage on how much you've done in each area. So on the first area, it said I'd only done 52% of the stuff on that first area. So I've actually gone back to the first area now just to see what I've missed. So yeah, there's a lot to do in it. It's amazing. I'm so shocked because I didn't hear anything about it before it come out. I just got it on a whim, and because I saw how good the reviews were. And man, I'm blown away by it. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I'll probably talk about it in a couple of weeks.
I did watch a video on it, and a while, I think when it came out, a review on it, and yeah, it did look good actually. It looked really good.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. You get them every year, don't you? Like just these surprise gems. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's one of those ones, just a surprise hit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, looks good. I'll definitely going to pick that up at some point.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, it's So it's 50 quid at the minute. I mean, I think for most people, just wait. Wait on a sale. You
Mm.
know, that's what the sensible person would do. But yeah, it's just let people know it's fucking awesome. Cool. Anyway, over to you, Stunty.
I'll do a quick one this time. I picked up Halo Infinite. It is Infinite, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I picked that up. I got it. This is a while back. This is actually when after I sold my Xbox, and then, as I said, I picked up another Xbox cheap.
Yeah.
And because you can play it on the old Xbox One X.
This is what I was going to ask you. I didn't realise this worked on the older systems.
Yeah, and Forza Horizon 5 that works on it as well. Yeah, they all work. There's not that many games that don't work on the Xbox One X. I think Flight Simulator doesn't work.
Do you know what's really weird as well? The Return to Monkey Island is only available on the Series S and X. So it's not available on the older system, and that's just a crappy. Well, it's not crappy. It's like one of those kind of 2D point and click games which would easily run on it. So I think they're now starting to push the newer systems more now by not putting things out on the older ones.
Well, there's a big thing at the moment about, but that's probably, I don't know if you've got it in your news, about the Series S.
Oh, I talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Right. Okay, yeah. Been held back by developers.
That's a load of shit, mate. They're just poor developers.
But yeah, going back to Halo. Yeah, I'm enjoying it actually. It's just Halo though. That's the only thing I would say. It's just, I mean, it's an open world, but yeah, it came at quite a good time. So I really wanted to play a shooter, and Halo is always, it's just easy. You just fire that shit, and kill stuff. Story's a bit, it's all right. It's just Halo, isn't it? Really, sort of. The only thing I will say though is it hasn't really moved on from all the Halos before, really, has it? So
no, I mean, I actually my favourite part of the game was the beginning and the end.
Right.
Because the beginning and the end is like you're being filtered through old school kind of Halos, if that makes sense. Like you're just funneled through. There's none of this open world stuff, and I just felt like the open world was just filler. That's how I felt when I completed it anyway.
I'm not sure how far. I mean, I'm not sure how long the game is, but yeah, I've done a lot of the open world stuff, and then I've gone to something now where it's all sort of I have to go down certain paths now.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a noob at this game though, for some reason. I don't know if it's just my age, but I just keep dying quite a lot on the big bosses. I do it, but that's the thing about the game that must be good, because I go back again. If I die, I go back again, and I keep trying and keep trying. It's like it's like a certain checkpoint we get to where you got a boss battle or something like that, and you just got to just hammer these bosses and kill them. And but yeah, and as I say, I'm only playing on normal, so I'm not playing on easy either. And but yeah, I like it. I mean, graphically wise, it looks really nice actually on the X.
That's good.
On the One X, yeah, it looks good. It loads all right. I haven't actually had any problems with the game at all, to be honest, considering it is, I'm on an old system. Sort of thing. But yeah, it's good. I play it for a little bit, and then I go and play some other bits, and then go back to it. But I'd like to try and finish it at some point. I mean, I think I finished most of the Halos. I don't think there's any. No, OST. I've never played OST.
Oh, such a good game.
ODST, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played ODST. And I'm not sure if I finished 3, actually. I think I did.
The one thing, I mean, the thing is with Halo is it's just had a big update this past week as well. So there's a new season, and they've added co-op to it now, which is good. And they've added, I think, a new multiplayer map, and they've added Forge now. So the community have added a load of like older maps, but obviously they're not in the multiplayer rotation. So the only way you're going to play on those maps is if you get a group of you together and select the map. You know what I mean? So I doubt that's going to happen with anyone I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have games with gold anyway, so I can't play any online shit anyway with Halo.
Yeah.
So I can only just play the story. But that's all I'm quite happy with. I've never really got into. I know you guys did, Colin, and the rest of you all got well into the multiplayer. I just don't know, just something about the multiplayer just never really grabbed me. Really, it's a bit like the multiplayer in Destiny. I mean, I don't mind doing the PVE, but not the PvP.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just been one of those things. It's that style of game that has never really grabbed me, really.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, yeah, Halo, no, enjoying it. It's
That's good.
good. Yeah, I must. I'm pleased I did pick it up in the end because I bought it on disc.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I want to finish it as well because that's an online only game as well, isn't it? So I want to finish it and then I can get rid of it. Yeah, because you know what online only games are like? They sort of go down to being peanuts eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you say they should have delayed the release of Halo until this year?
Yeah, I'd say
They
so.
needed it though, didn't
Because
they?
they'd have had, because obviously it was good last year that obviously Microsoft had Halo and Forza that were both huge. But this year they haven't really got an end of year game, quite similar to like how PlayStation didn't the year before. But it would, I think, because obviously they finally added the co-op and Forge and stuff, which both should have been in there from the start, to be honest, because they're part of the actual main game in every iteration. They would have had something to then sort of like go up against God of War per se for their platform.
But maybe it was sales, maybe because the Xbox was quite early in its generation. I mean, they're 2 years now, aren't they? You think last year was a year, and it's like they needed a big hitter that will get people to buy a new Xbox. You know, maybe that's why they did it. And now this year they've realised that things are going well. I mean, Microsoft are making money anyway. I mean, they've said that the Game Pass is doing really well anyway, isn't it? So they've now got more people on the system, and because realistically, Xbox is Game Pass, isn't it? So that's what they want, isn't it? To have, you know, I mean, I heard rumours of saying that they're still losing money on the Xbox Series X's, you know, for selling them.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but they're making it back on Game Pass. I mean, Sony did the same, didn't they? I don't know if they did it with the PS5. I mean, they put the price up, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, it's not stopping people buying it, though, is it? So
no. If you want,
I was going to say, speaking of the like the hardware sales, have you heard the Switch is like closing in on becoming Nintendo's biggest selling games console ever?
That's insane, isn't it? I mean, but the thing is, the Switch is a great console.
It sold over 900 million units.
That is insane. Oh my god! Well, I've got two of them.
Yeah, I think the 3DS, no, the 2DS, sorry, sold like over 900 and something million. So I think it's in third place at the moment.
Wow,
the Switch.
that's insane.
But you think about it, the Switch is actually really two consoles, isn't it? It is a main console and it's a handheld, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they've done it perfect, haven't they? You think?
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
and then, like I say, number one was the 2DS, and I think number two is the Wii. So it's like you've got your handheld, you've got your system, and then you've got your handheld system like in the third.
It's done really well in Japan, isn't it? The Switch. I mean, even the PlayStation hadn't done very well in Japan for quite a while. It's just starting to pick up now. I noticed.
Yeah, they are starting to sort of improve really slowly.
Yeah, they actually. I think I read the thing this week that they actually beat the Switch this week or last week it was for sales.
It's because the games are picking up, and also due to the fact that a lot of the Japanese games and Japanese devs are still putting out stuff on the PS4. So there's a few games, like obviously next year you've got Atelier Ryza 3 coming out, but I believe it's just going to be the PS4 version that you can play on the PS5 with obviously added stuff to it.
It's funny,
sort of like a pro version, whereas like less of them are bringing out like a dedicated PS5 edition of a game.
Yeah, there's still a lot of PS4 games coming out still. It's actually probably the first time in quite a while that there's. I mean, I remember when the PS4 came out, you didn't really get much PS3 stuff come out. Then that was it. It just died. you know, and it's like, but this time, you know, you're still seeing PS4 stuff come out, and then you're getting the crossover stuff. You're getting a PS5 release and a PS4 release, like The Quarry, you know, that I just said earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Evil West. I think there's Evil West.
Yeah.
Gungrave, is it?
Yeah, that's basically, I looked into that. It's basically an updated version of an old game.
Yeah, I'm buying that actually.
It does look quite interesting, actually,
it
to be
does.
honest.
Yeah, it looks like one of those old school sort of PS3, Xbox 360 sort of style games, doesn't it?
But I would say, are you on about Evil West or Gungrave?
Gungrave.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I preferred the look of Evil West, actually. It looks like a similar kind of thing, but obviously with a more modern sort of take. But that definitely looks like something that would have been out on the 360.
Yeah,
PS3.
Evil West reminds me of Call of what was it? Call of Juarez.
Oh yeah.
Sort of, yeah. There seems to be a lot more up like hitting things with whatnot rather than just shooting them. Like the Call of Juarez games are actually pretty decent, to be honest.
They were,
yeah, they were. Yeah, I don't even know who done them now. Who did them?
I'm not too sure. I preferred the second one to the first one. And then I also really like that downloadable arcadey one they did.
Oh yeah. That was good.
Right, yeah, that's me done on Halo.
All right, Darren.
What shall I talk about? Let's go for a bit of Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8. Village.
Village, that's the one, yes.
Yeah. I was thinking that game is quite old now. How old is it? A couple of years back?
March last year, I think it was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That game. I don't know why.
But yeah, I've been playing the expansion bit. I can't, but it's something of Rose, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I haven't looked into it at all.
Shadows of Rose, I think it's actually called.
Right. So what is it? A new area or story?
It's a new story where you obviously follow spoilers. If you haven't played, it's hard to say because obviously
I haven't finished the game yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I finished the story of the main game, so I think I know what you're getting at already. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
does it carry on from the ending? Yeah,
it carries on from the ending.
Right,
you sit down, you talk to someone,
right?
And this person says, if you want to rid yourself of these powers, then you need to basically psychically connect yourself to this device or thing that we found.
Right.
And you do, and it's to do with the metamycete or whatever it is. If that rings any bell to you.
Oh, mate, no.
From the previous game, like the main boss in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you connect to that, and all of a sudden you're pulled into like a nightmarish world.
Ooh.
And you initially keep bumping into clones of yourself.
Ooh.
That are being horrifically murdered.
Oh, my goodness.
And like parts of their faces pulled off and all that kind of stuff going on. And you basically escape out and you'll bump into another character from obviously the previous game. Again, I don't really want to say spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's looking like he's involved somehow, whether or not he's being controlled or whatnot. I'm not honestly too sure. But it's the whole thing's in third person, so it's not in first person.
Okay.
Which makes it kind of interesting going through these familiar areas because you're going through like the Dimitrescu mansion.
Oh yeah.
At the moment.
Oh nice.
Things have changed and moved around because obviously time's progressed since then.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I'm enjoying it. You get like a few new kind of abilities. It's not super gung ho-y at the moment. Like I've got a couple of weapons on me, but it's mainly to do with like you've got like an ability to stun people and to slow people down. which you then use these flower things you find to basically like repower that skill
Okay.
back up, and got some big fuck off thing chasing me about as well. Almost like a sort of pursuer, I think they're known as now, aren't they? You know, you're like your Mr. X characters, the ones that just
Yeah.
you can't really kind of get rid of them. They just keep showing up again. But yeah, I think I've probably played about half of it, I'd say. I don't expect it to be like massively long.
Okay.
And it's obviously given me a taster of what the main game will be like, because if you purchase this expansion anyway, or if you've got the gold edition, you can play through the entirety of obviously RE8 in third person as well.
Okay.
It definitely takes a new view on things, because I'm so used to playing it in first person that it was kind of weird seeing it in third person.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's
obviously
awesome, man.
going back to that, but I think it's a pretty decently priced little expansion. I think on its own it was about 14 or 15, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You obviously get like an expanded campaign, which I imagine is like 4 or 5 hours long.
That's
Plus,
good.
you get the option to play through the whole game in third person, and you also get new characters to use in mercenaries mode as well,
Okay.
including obviously two of the highlights, which is like Heisenberg and Lady D. You can use.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I picked up Village. I picked it up the other week and started it. And graphically, it's a beautiful looking game.
Oh,
Isn't it?
yeah,
it's
it's
beautiful, yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah.
And instead of Webby where you get stuck in the village, I'm stuck in the castle at the moment.
That's not easy.
No, and I don't know where to go. I keep wandering around. I haven't been back to it since, because I need to sit down and I'm gonna have to do a fucking look it up, aren't I? Where to go? I just seem
Yeah.
to go. I've got all these 4 statues that go up.
I know where you are. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
basically.
where I'm up to. And then
Quite
you
early
go,
on.
yeah, and then you go in the room and there's a dude in there that will sell you shit, and he tells you, he says, "Oh yeah,
The Duke.
your daughter's upstairs. You've got to go up there." So I went up there, but I haven't found where to go. So, and that's where I'm up to at the moment. But I haven't played for about a week. I need to go back to it. So,
See, yeah, I don't own it, you see, because I bought it on launch for the Xbox and then banged it out in a couple of days and then sold it for the same price I paid for it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I also got a code in the box because I bought it from CEX, and I got a code for that RE verse.
Yeah.
I haven't even redeemed that. I thankfully I don't actually have it on my hard drive as far
That's
as
the
I'm aware.
multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah. So I downloaded that. I played one game and then deleted it.
Shit, yeah.
It was really fucking shit. It was unbelievably shit. I thought going back, it reminded me of going back to that thing we played on the Xbox 360, but even worse. What was that thing we played? Operation Raccoon City. I mean, at least
Operation Raccoon City was actually pretty cool, apart from the bullet sponge enemies.
It was all right, yeah, but this is even worse. This is just like
it's a PvP
area.
game, yeah. It's a PvP sort of like versus mode.
It's just like a fucking box room. And then you only get like 3 minutes, and it's like and then what happens is when you get killed, you end up turning into this big slob of shit, and then you got to go around trying to kill the other people. But it was just bad. It was just so bad, and I was thinking, please count down to the 3 minutes. And
this was what we got for the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil.
The fucker gave me 4 trophies as well, so I got no way of deleting the trophy. Thing on it now, so I'm stuck with that forever now.
Lols.
And taint.
Yeah.
Such a good game, man.
I'm so looking forward to like going through that MVR.
Oh fuck that! I'll piss my pants.
Well, not really, because you know what's coming. You haven't really. You've played through the game already. You know what it's going to be like. And the fact that I know, with any luck, with obviously the VR2, when that sort of obviously drops, they announce that it's going to have HDR and sort of like up to 4K capabilities, 90 to 100 FPS, depending on the game and stuff. And I was just like, imagine, like you said, the game looks gorgeous. Like, imagine exploring around that mansion in VR.
No, I'm
This
quite
is
happy
going to
as I am.
be.
No, thanks. Where were we up to? I've forgotten where we are now.
Back to you, Webby.
Back to you.
Oh, is it back to me? Okay.
Keep working our way back to you, babe.
Yeah, so I did mention it briefly earlier, actually. Monkey Island, Return to Monkey Island. I only played it for about an hour, but my initial impressions are it's really good. I really enjoyed the first Monkey Island. This one's a bit easier, I think, because you can actually choose easy mode. And I know Darkest Frost has played it and banged it out in like a day or two because he put it on easy mode. So that's pretty much how I'm playing it because I'm too thick to do all these hard puzzles now and too lazy. But I'm really liking it because all that old school humour is in it. You know, and I really like the cartoony art style. I know Peebs said to us he was a bit on the fence about the art, but I quite like it. That's all I can say on it, really, because I literally played it for about an hour, and that's pretty much kind of an intro where you play as the pirate bloke's kid, and then you go into the main story where he's telling them a story of his past with LeChuck, and that's kind of where I turned it off. So I've not even got into the main proper game yet because, like, you do a load of stuff, and then the kids talk to the dad, and then it's like. It has like the title screen of Monkey Island, and that's kind of where it begins. So, yeah, that's all I want to say on Monkey Island.
Is that actually a Microsoft own then? Is it?
No, it's not.
Right.
But it's on because it's actually been out for a little while, not long.
Was it an Infogrames or a LucasArts original?
LucasArts, I believe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been out for a few months already. Because it's been out on all the systems anyway. But they must have just done a deal to get it onto Game Pass.
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah, I thought it was owned by Microsoft. Really, I didn't realise.
So, because that was so short, I'm going to talk about Mario Party on the Switch as well.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
Blimey, that's old, isn't it now?
I love it, mate. So,
that came out last year, didn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, right? I've played it quite a bit in the past, but not like super loads. Yeah. So me and my boy, because I was entertaining Marcus on Saturday. Was it Sunday? Sorry, because Leon was at the hospital for like 8 or 9 hours. I had to keep Marcus entertained. So Marcus wanted a gaming day in his pajamas. So I was like, well, I'm not going to say no to that. So he wanted to play Mario Party. So we ended up playing Mario Party for about 4 hours. We did like just 2 games, but I made them quite long.
Yeah, they are long if you want them to be.
Yeah, and
computer.
I've forgotten how good it was because it'd been a while since we played it. Oh, it makes you forget how good some of these Nintendo Switch games are. We had a blast playing Mario Party, absolute blast. Because some of the mini games are because the mini games are so good, and they pull the mini games from all the old Mario Parties as well, like the N64 and stuff. Yeah. It just makes it really good, and the boards that are in the game. I mean, there's not many. It's about 4 or 5, which I mean, I wish that they had more, but they're really well done, and they're all so different. Yeah, you got like the easy ones where the star toadette just stays in one place, and then on some of the other ones, you know, every time someone gets one, it moves to somewhere else on the board, which freshens it up, and it's just such a good title, especially for couch when you're playing with someone in the same room, because I think, you know, that's kind of been lost on like the Xbox and the PlayStation, to be honest. Like that whole couch co-op thing, you know, people think that every single but it's for you they're very few and far between, like couch games these days. Yeah. So because most games have online multiplayer, but they don't have split screen couch co-op as a prime example. Yeah, so
Yeah.
when you've got a 4-year-old who's really into gaming, one, you've got to find games that are suitable, so that brings the amount of games you can play down by quite a lot anyway. And then because there's a lack of good couch co-op multiplayer games as well, there's only a small sample of games to choose from, really. So, the Switch has the most, I feel, of those kind of titles, and yeah, we had a good blast on it, man. Just Mario Party for hours, and because when I was playing it, it brought me back to when I was kind of a young teenager. I always used to go round my mate Dave's, and we'd play Mario Party all the time on his N64. So it just kind of brought me back to those days a little bit, which felt just really nice. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, I enjoy that game. The only thing with that game I always find, and me and my daughter always moan about, is the computer always cheats.
Oh,
It stars in the fuckers. It's like, we give you a star because you moved 3 spaces to this way. It's like, really? Daisy always cheats, this little bitch.
oh, they all fuck it like. So I always put the AI on easy, and they still always end up winning.
I see. I'll just leave it on normal. But yeah, there's always one character that pisses us off.
For me, it's always Yoshi or Donkey Kong. They're the worst.
Yeah, my daughter's very competitive on games, and that really bugs her when she loses at that.
The thing with the thing with Mario Party though is it's well designed. Like even if you've got a non-gamer with you, they still have quite a good chance of winning. So if you're playing 4-player, and say your missus or your mum or whoever is playing as one of the characters, they could win.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I used to. I've been playing Mario Party for years. It was always a Christmas thing. As I say, going back to the Wii U actually.
Yeah.
Because there was back to the Wii. There was Mario Party 8. We used to play that, and then 9, and then they did Wii Party. And as I say, they finally come out on the Switch. Well, there's 2, isn't there now? Isn't there on the Switch? Because I've got them both.
Yeah.
The last one before this one wasn't as good as this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're always a good Christmas game. That always used. Well, it used to come out. It won't come out this year, but it was always that or Overcooked. I can't think what else there was now. Or there's a quiz game we put on at Christmas. And see who's thick, which is normally me. So yeah, no, good game.
Cool. Back to you then, Stunty, mate.
What else have I played? I played. There was a free game on the PS Plus. That's the trouble now because I've got this PS Plus thing, the premium. I get all these free games now, so it's a bit like fucking what I had with Game Pass. You just have all these games, you never play any of them.
Yeah.
But there was a free game, but this was actually a free game with the PS Plus, the normal PS Plus anyway, and that was Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I played that, and I've been playing it with because I've got a group of lads that I play with, and I used to play Wreckfest with them. Really enjoyed myself playing that, but then it probably helps because I had a better car than they did. But I was a little bit behind with all these guys because they had already played Hot Wheels for quite a bit, and I hadn't, so I had to jump in with them. I like it, but I don't like it. The control of the cars, they're just too fucking twitchy. They're just way too twitchy. It's too arcadey. And that's the thing, whereas I've just got used to having a little bit more control, sort of that whole, even Forza Horizon 5 isn't that twitchy, and that's it's a half and half, isn't it, Forza Horizon 5? It's got that arcadey, but it's still got a little bit of a sim to it as well. But this Hot Wheels Unleashed, because they're all quite small cars, it reminds me like a Wipeout, but a car. Going around the corners, you've got to sort of you use the left trigger to sort of side go sideways around the corners. But it's just so easy just to oversteer and shit like that. and it just if you fuck up, you go right the way back to the beginning again, or you've got to wait for it
It's
to
annoying.
put your car back on the track. So yeah, I played it a few times with the other lot, and they all moan, you got to give it time, you'll get better. Yeah, I've given it time. I just don't think it's for me. I think it's just too arcadey for me. So shitty multiplayer system as well that I don't like either. As in, you have to, one of you sets up a multiplayer lobby, but it's a free for all. So basically, you've got to try and get everyone in it before it gets filled up with other people. So it's one of those. So you can't just set up a room and then, like Wreckfest, we just set up a room. Everyone goes into that room, and then you just open it up, and it just lets anyone else in. No, can't do that with this. You literally just set up a lobby. The room's open, and you've got to quickly send an invite to all your friends and hope they get into it before anyone else, just randoms, just jump into the room as well.
Oh.
And also, I think the tracks are too long as well because, there's like 3 laps when they're really long, some of the tracks. And you think, is this going to end soon? It's sort of really long, especially when they're just sort of, some of the tracks are a bit wind or they're just boring. So, yeah, it was free. Played it for a bit, but it's not for me. That's it. Done on that one.
Dudes, back to you, Darren.
Fair enough. I'll mention Cyberpunk then. Just been playing that still, going through the storyline.
Are you not finished
slowly
that?
But surely. No, I've just been super taking my time with it.
That is taking your time. It's like 2 years old now.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I delayed it originally because I wanted to play it on the Series the Series X when it came out, and then obviously we didn't get the official Series X update until earlier this year. Hour-wise, I don't know, 120 odd, 130 odd, something like that. I think at the moment.
Finish the story.
No,
that's hilarious.
So I went out on a date with Rogue, I think it was. If you know what part in the story that is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's around there. They did a new update for it actually last week. I think it was either last week or the week before. Well, they did some more fixes for it and stuff. I think it's all in prep for the next update.
Great game now, though. I must admit, I went back to it a while ago because I finished the story and I did continue on with some of the side quests.
It's just got a really cool atmosphere to it. I just like driving around the city in it, listening to music.
Yeah, I did some of the side quest stuff, and some of the stories and that are actually quite good. Actually, I look forward to the next. There's some extra stuff they're going to bring out. I think there's only one.
Oh, the Phantom Liberty expansion.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they raise the level cap, because obviously you cap out at level 50, and you never have enough skill points to actually spec out all of your trees. I'm just wondering if they'll give you a few extra levels to put a few more points into, say, things you're underpowered in.
But it definitely looks a lot better now. I must admit, when I went back to it, probably about a month ago, could be a bit longer now. Actually, no, probably longer than that now. It did look a lot better than what it did. It didn't have as many sort of you didn't have cars stuck in buildings and stuff.
I never really had that. I had like the shite driving motors originally, where they'd sort of they were on a path and didn't seem to know where the actual road bent. So they just slam into a corner and grind around it constantly.
I just love the world. That's the thing I love about Cyberpunk. The world is just awesome, isn't it?
It's just got a nice atmosphere to it. It feels different from other games we've got. But yeah, that'll do for that. Back to you, Webby.
Oh, goodness me. I'm taking up everything here. Okay, I was going to save this, but I'm just talking about it now. I completed a game this week that I started 20 years ago.
Next.
So we say that Darren takes...
You were just taking my time with Cyberpunk, and this is 20 years, mate. Yeah. Beat that.
Yeah. Finally, I have finally completed Final Fantasy VI. And I have to say, I wish I'd completed it when I got it, because it is so good. I can see why people say it's their favourite Final Fantasy game, because it is way up there. It's just so damn good. And it's also a shame that that we didn't get it in Europe before 2002 because it was on the Super Nintendo in Japan and North America, but it never actually made
Yeah,
it
my
to
friend
Europe.
had it on the Super Nintendo import
So
years ago. He never finished it.
yeah, it's not an easy game. Sorry, Stunty, what you say?
What did you finish it on?
I finished it on Steam, so
I thought you had your PS1 set up again.
no.
That's what I was just thinking. Fucking hell.
No, so so I bought it. So it's really weird actually. So I think the reason I never finished it originally is because I bought it the same day I got my OG Xbox. So I vividly remember like going into Peterborough into game there, and what was it? Yeah, and then so I bought the OG Xbox, and then I saw Final Fantasy VI for PS1, and I bought it. One because I've always wanted to. Well, I thought I'd never played this, and two, it had a demo for Final Fantasy X on it. For the PS2, because when Final Fantasy VI came out on the PS1, the PS2 had been out for about a year or so already as well, for a couple of years. And obviously the PS2 ran PS1 discs anyway, so that's why I had the demo. But no, on Steam this year they put out a Final Fantasy remaster, Pixel Remaster Collection, which is Final Fantasies 1 to 6, completely.
Didn't that get lambasted? One of them got dragged across the coals, didn't it? Because people didn't like the art style they went for. Or was that the mobile phone version?
Mobile, I imagine, because the mobile ones look like fucking dog shit. But what they've done with the
tried
pixel,
to smooth the pixels out, and it looked bizarre.
Yeah, so on these pixel remasters, they actually fully remade all 6 games in this new pixel art style, and they've redone all the music as well. So they've redone all the Final Fantasy VI music, so it's all the kind of very similar to the Distant Worlds versions that we've listened to, Darren. So they're absolutely epic. Like the opera scene in the game is just absolutely epic. It's so good. Oh my goodness, it's just amazing. And it actually has one of the best endings to a video game I've ever played as well. There's actually optional characters, but there's some characters which can die. If you don't let them live, they have a little kind of thing at the end of the game, which is quite cool. But yeah, it does that thing at the end of the game where it tells you where all the characters are now and what they're doing and stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, like an 80s film.
Yeah. Has like a little bit of text and shows them doing stuff and that. Yeah, it's really cool. But the thing that really stands out to me is, well, one, it's hard, it's old school, with the battles and stuff, but the story with the characters is just so fucking amazing. Like every character feels fully fledged, and I like the way that they managed to flesh out characters where all they had is, back in the day, 16-bit pixels and text, and they managed to just flesh out all the characters so damn well. It's just an epic story from start to finish, and you play as multiple different characters throughout the game as well, which I think is quite different for a Final Fantasy game, really. And it's just so damn good. But whilst I was playing it, and this is something that proper Final Fantasy players who played this before would have noticed straight away. Like other Final Fantasy games take a lot from 6. So I've noticed a lot of gameplay similarities in 7 from 6, and 8 and 9, and a lot of music is in all the games. And it's surprising how many bosses and how much music from 6 is in 14. There's a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot, yeah. So I think I think it's worth playing just to get that little bit of historical content if you're a super fan of the Final Fantasy games, because this is easily one of the best Final Fantasy games I've ever played. It is that good, and I can see why people hold it in such high regard. It's just amazing, and yeah, it's just a shame it's taken me so long to finish. To finish it. Anyway, I will stop boring people with my Final Fantasy talk now. Next, Stunty.
Yeah, I don't think I've played anything else. I mean, I got little bits really. I mean, I did play a bit of GTA Vice City that came out on PS Plus, which I know you slagged off and said it looked shit.
It does look shit, yeah.
It looks right. It looks fine. It looks like Vice City does, really. I mean, it looks fine. It's the thing with Vice City. The story was quite cool in it, wasn't it? Really. It's the what is this they called it? It's an upgrade, isn't it? Now the new one, isn't it? It's on the Xbox as well, isn't it? The collection, isn't it? The GTA trilogy, isn't it? Collection. But yeah, I quite like Vice. I mean, the music's awesome. I mean, Peeves is probably the same as me. He's, got the 80s.
Well, it's Vice City was just one of those.
It was good 20 years ago, man.
Well, no, it just like when you think about it, I think Vice City is the game that set the precedent for the GTA games going forward. It was far more story focused. They added more characters into it, and they started getting famous people voicing a lot of the characters in the games as well.
Yeah, I mean, for back in the day,
rest in peace.
Definitely back in the day it was good, but the problem is they just did such a shit job with the remasters, unfortunately.
People were expecting like nowadays when you hear remaster, you think, oh, it's going to be the old game but with modern graphics. It's like, no, they're just tidying them up. A bit like the way they did with a lot of the 360 games for the backwards compatibility on Xbox, where they just up the res.
Yeah, but it's just a shame, man, because I mean, I was expecting it to be like redone in the GTA 5 engine. I know that's like
that would have been a massive release. So that would still probably, if that game had come out, it would still be number one probably in the charts today.
Yeah, it's just a shame. Like
they wouldn't be able to do all three of them.
Yeah, but you can't just up-res a game that's 20 years old, man. It just looks shit. And it's just, and it was so glitchy as well, because I tried it on the play.
Isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's that super playable.
Bloody PC, I think it's great. It's free.
As long as you're enjoying it, that's the main thing.
I'm enjoying it. Peeves is enjoying it as well. I mean, I was playing GTA 3, but that disappeared off of here, didn't it? So I can't finish that.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to have to try and make sure I finish this one before they put San Andreas on it. So, because I used to quite like San Andreas, because I used to take the BMX out and try and ride the vert ramps that I used to have scattered around.
We was talking obviously back in the episode. I've still got the three original, like 3 Vice City and San Andreas all on the standard Xbox.
Yeah, I have as well somewhere. Yeah, it's in a big box.
2 of them come in a double pack, and then one was separate. Yeah.
No, I've still got that as well. So, because they did actually bring San Andreas on the PS3. There was a PS3 release as well, wasn't there? For that, quite a late PS3. But no, that's it really. I don't think there's anything else I've played really. The only other thing I did play, but I can't remember it now. I haven't played it for about 3 months. Destroy All Humans.
Ooh.
Is this the remake or the second one? Because they've done 2 of them now, I think, haven't they?
This is the remake. No, I haven't done the second one yet. I do want to get the second one, but I want to finish the first one first. I never played this because this is actually a PS2 game. This was originally, and then it was then released on the PS3, and then it's come out on the PS4. But I think they redone the whole game again graphically wise, because it doesn't look like a PS2 game. It looks like a PS4 game.
Yeah, they have did fondle the graphics on that one. Yeah,
I'm actually quite surprised because I sort of missed it, and I did know it had a bit of a cult following, this game. It's all right actually. I just thought it was just one of these third-person shooters, but it's not. It's a lot more to this game. It's sort of like you've got to shoot. All right, you have got to shoot people, but there's all these other modes as well where you sort of get in a spaceship and you've got to blow up this city, and then you've got to go up behind certain people in third person. You've got to suck their brains out because you're an alien. And then you've got to sort of go into stealth mode where you sort of you're an alien and you can't be seen as an alien. So you sort of need to sneak into these towns, and you need to then clone someone. And then you become this clone that can walk around. You've got to try and find these scientists that you're trying to capture because you don't want them to destroy the aliens, because and then in the process you get a certain time limit, and if you run out on the time limit, you start to turn back into an alien again. So you sort of like got to keep on top of that. The one thing about the game, there's so much to it, and it's what I like about it is where it's all in chapters. So you get these little sections, and then you get a nice little story bit to it, and then it's another chapter as well. So you could just do a chapter a night. It's not like it's not one of these big, massive open world games. Graphically wise, it looks really nice. The game's very quirky. That's what I'd say about it. I can see some people thinking, "Oh, I can't get on with this," but I quite like it because it's nice to play something that's just different from the usual shit that you play.
Just pick up and play stuff.
Yes, and then I do know, as I say, they've just brought out Destroy All Humans 2. And I had a quick look at that, and that looks very similar as well. The story on it. But if you want something a little bit different, pick that up. I mean, it's probably not that dear now. Destroy Humans on the PS4. I think it's on the Xbox as well. Actually, probably only about 10-15 quid anyway to buy it on disc. So probably come to Game Pass as soon as I say that.
Oh yeah.
Now, So, but no, that's it. That's me done with all my games, to be honest.
Fair dues. What are you, Darren?
Well, might as well talk about it. Little game came out last week. God of War Ragnarok.
Some people are saying that this is Game of the Year above Elden Ring. What's your thoughts on it, mate?
It's really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of having a little bit of a Bioshock 2-y feel to it, if that makes any sense.
It's like a continuation of the first.
Yes, it feels a lot like the original, and like the original's a fantastic game, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it kind of, how can I say it? Like, feel like I've done it before, so I've lost that initial bit of wonder that I had with the original.
That reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn, the second one. Exactly.
So I can understand how it would how obviously people feel that way, because you make something that's in a fantastical setting in a certain way, and you're like, that's really good, and then when you get it away again, you're like, it's really good, but it's not like that. It's really good, like that first
hit
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I did read about that, and also from the videos I saw, I looked at it and I thought, this looks like what I've already played. And the thing is, I didn't play God of War when it came out. I played it probably a year and a half later, so it's not that long ago. And that's the worry I've got. I don't know if I really want to play another game that's going to be similar to the one I just played a year and a half ago. And that was the problem with Horizon. I played the first one, loved the first one, finished it, and then the next one came out probably a year later, and I haven't finished the second one because I've got bored of it. Because it's like,
Same at the moment. Same.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the first game. I thought it was phenomenal. Absolutely
I loved it. I think it was my game of the year when it came out.
Yeah.
But it was like a brand new whole take on obviously what God of War was. The whole single shot camera kind of thing that they used through it and all the rest of it. And it gave a lot of the fights and everything like an epic feel and everything. It was like just a great package game. And you're getting that again, but it's like you've already experienced it.
Yeah.
But the story's great. The characters are great. The combat's still fun, although you now get more variation in the enemies you fight throughout the game. And it sometimes falls, I don't know whether it's just me, it sometimes falls into that mode where, when you get a good combat system in a game.
Yeah.
And then you start getting enemies turning up that interrupt that enjoyable combat flow you were having. And you're like, annoying.
Yeah.
But you can switch between your weapons pretty fluidly in battle and everything, just like the first one. You're given a lot of options for the combat. The scenery in some of the places I've gone through look amazing. There's like an area today, and as you're going through it, there's like wildlife and stuff everywhere as well.
Oh, nice.
Sort of like flitting about and scampering around in the trees, or just sort of sitting there. And the sort of like character designs are really good. The biggest upgrade I will say in this that I noticed is the music.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I liked the original soundtrack to God of War, but not a lot of it's really stuck out and blew me away,
Okay.
per se, bar the main theme, you know, the one that plays during the funeral at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So that was what stood out to me. But in this one, I'm always like sitting there thinking, like, oh, this music's really good. Like, really liking the soundtrack for this one. It sort of suits the
That's
area
good.
as well.
That's good.
I mean, the spectacle's all there, and the sheer weight of obviously some of the conflicts and stuff, and the character interactions. They're all still great and top notch. What you'd expect from obviously those kind of games.
They're making it sound like a bit of a downer, mate.
No, it's like I say, it's a really, really fantastic game. But again, while you're playing through it, you come across some of the things that you didn't particularly like as much in the first game.
Yeah, okay.
Like the constant puzzles.
Oh, yeah, you're not a big puzzle fan,
Interrupt
no?
everything. Not hugely, but like when they literally come along every time, you're like, oh, is there another crank I've got to turn here, and I've got to throw my axe up to this, and this surface can now ricochet my axe into a different direction, so I've got to work out where to stand to get the hit for it to knock this. And then you get to another bit, and it's like, right, we've got to do that again, and a bit further, and again.
Someone will put the video up and out and do it anyway.
But you'll go back through a lot of areas from the first game and everything, and they all look considerably different than how they did in the first game because of the way the story goes anyway. So anyone who plays through this game is still going to have a really good time. I will say, maybe a spoiler, you don't always play as Kratos in this game.
I've seen videos, so no, it's not a spoiler for me.
And personally, I'm quite happy about that because I actually found combat with the other character more enjoyable.
Okay.
Call me weird, but it just seemed to flow and was a bit more enjoyable to me just because of the play style to it. It's not like a melee up front wailing on things, because you will notice while you're getting in combat a lot with how close the camera is up to sort of Kratos when you're going in for the melee stuff. It's really hard to see enemies coming around behind you and to the side and stuff and getting cheeky hits in because you can't see them. You'll get indicators and such as well, but
okay, that sounds good, man.
Yeah. It is, like I say, it's a really good game. I've just been hit by that familiarity of like, I've kind of done this before, but I'm still enjoying the experience I'm going through.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Like the outfits for the characters and everything have got like really good detail on them and stuff as well.
Excellent. That sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just waiting for a sale, only because. It's just me. I'm tight, man. I just feel like PlayStation games are too expensive. I just refuse to pay £70 for a game.
See, I was actually shocked the other week because I actually popped into Game. This is Game, and they were selling it for 60.
Yeah, 60.
And I was like, hold on a second. Like, is it only the PlayStation Store that's selling it for 70?
Well, it's just always online, isn't it? Does it the most. But
62, Amazon were doing it for 62. Well, I could have got it for 58 actually, but I cancelled the order. So
I still think it's too much because I just miss the days where, you would go online and like the latest games you'd be able to get for 40. I
will say quickly before we sort of.
That's the problem.
Yeah, before we do move on, I do want to actually sort of compliment the amount of sort of accessibility options that are in God of War as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff there if you're like hearing impaired, colourblind.
That's
you can
good.
actually like change the colour of Kratos's model
Oh yeah.
to different hues and stuff. Obviously, if you can only see certain colours and whatnot, and
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
there's some really good options there. Like if you have trouble like mashing a button, you can just hold it down.
Oh yeah.
Change
Oh, that's
for
quite
that.
good.
So
They
it's
didn't.
good that there's more options for that because not everyone can go completely ape on a controller, or some person
Yeah.
might not have that option.
They,
Oh,
I
that's
think loads
good.
of us do had that. They had a lot of accessibilities. You could even change the
Yeah.
colour of it. Make it black
I will say, the only downside is I am a bit of a weirdo because like I quite like the PS5 controller haptic feedback
Yeah.
for about 30 minutes, and then I just want to turn it off because it's kind of irritating.
You're so weird.
Yeah, but you haven't had the option to actually disable that. But the
Oh.
controller rumble is really good, like for that game. I think that there's moments when you'll have something rumble along the screen in front of you, and the rumble actually moves from one half of like one side of the controller to the other across.
Cool.
Okay.
Which is kind of good. Playing
The
it
one
with
thing
the Pulse headset as well, the 3D headset.
Oh, nice. The thing I was going to say, what's weird about it, Darren, is like the fact it's on the PS4 as well as the PS5.
Yeah, I've heard a load of people say that it's like almost like a technical marvel. You know, when you get like a certain game at the end of a console's lifespan,
Yeah,
where you're like,
yeah,
can't
yeah,
believe they managed to actually do this for this. Like,
yeah,
this must have been pushing it pretty bad. I mean, you've obviously got FPS limitations on
yeah.
that one, whereas on the
PS5.
PS5, you've got 3 versions. I think it is. I went for performance, which basically keeps it at like a sort of 4K-ish, you know, like over 1080 anyway, resolution at a sort of like 60 or whatever. And it
Yeah.
still looks fantastic. My mate, because he was playing on his telly and he's obviously he can support 120. He was allowed to play it in performance with high frame rate enabled.
Okay, yeah.
So I
Nice.
think there's up to 6 different options in total, depending on your television
Oh,
that you're
nice.
playing it through. But it supports stuff really well. Like I say, I'm not trying to play it down. It is an amazing and fantastic game, and it will easily probably be in my top games of the year.
Yeah.
It just has that, like, with the wow factor of the first one, where you're like, holy shit, have you played this game? Like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fair, man. That's good. I'm glad someone's picked up to talk about anyway. Because all I've been doing is moaning about the price. Yeah, single player game, bang it out in a week. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about 11 hours into it.
28 hours, I'm told.
I've been told, yeah, is it 28 or 40 to do everything or something?
Oh,
'Cause
well,
again, I've had the option to split off and explore around a couple of sort of areas, and you get all the different realms, you know, like.
if it's 20 odd hours, Sly will have it done in 2 days.
I don't think he's not a God of War fan from what I was. He thought the last one was okay. He wasn't a big. It didn't grab him.
I thought the first one was fucking awesome. I'm just because like the first one's now on PC as well, I'm quite hesitant to pick it up on PlayStation as well.
I think Sly did say that when he played God of War, he had a lot of other things playing because I think they came out
Yeah.
the same time Red Dead came out as well, didn't it? So there was a lot going on, you know. And that's the thing with certain games; they can come out and you can just they just get swallowed up by something else.
Yeah, it's the thing, and your mood has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
With it as well. So, you know, I've had a lot of experiences where I thought a game is shit, and then I will go back to it say a year later, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking awesome, and it's just because I was in a funny mood at the time, you know. So, yeah, cool. It's back to me again, then, is it? All right. Have you guys got any more games to talk about?
I've got one more.
Okay.
I was just gonna talk about a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
All right.
play in a bit anyway.
I'm going to talk about 2 then, very quickly. Gran Turismo 7, had a blast on it last week for 2 nights in a row with the boys. Game, we're getting a lot closer now as well, which is really good. So that's been a lot of fun. I actually loaded up Grand Theft Auto 5 today. I know the game is 10 years old. But obviously, being a PC gamer, there's a lot of mods out there. So I actually loaded up a couple of mods on it today called Visual V and Natural Vision. And basically, it just completely changes the graphics on the game, and they bring them up to like what you would consider, I would say, next gen. Like my jaw was on the floor. Played it for about an hour today, just roaming the city. Letting it go from day to night to day, and just like so it adds like the rain, but it like puddles build up on the sidewalks and the road, and all the reflections and just the puddles, just the way they look amazing. And like you look at Skyscraper and Grand Theft Auto, and it's just like a block of windows. Well, this changes it, so you can see inside all the windows. So you actually see all like the office layouts and stuff like that. It just like makes everything just look so realistic. So I was dicking around with that for about an hour this morning, and just looked amazing. So I just wanted to just mention that's those 2 mods, which might give some people a little bit more longevity on GTA 5. Cool. Yeah. Darren?
All right. Yeah. Star Ocean: The Divine Force.
How is that? I've been looking at it, but
It's really good. I'm enjoying it. Not too far into it still, obviously. It's hard to really talk about a lot of it without spoiling it, and I've mentioned it before. Obviously, JRPG, collect people, storyline that goes through.
Yeah.
But again, it's got one of the new tropes in RPGs that I hate.
Which is?
Or action open world games, the mini game.
Oh.
When you like obviously start a game up, you're going around and you bump into the first village, and then you speak to someone and they're like, "Oh, do you fancy a game of fecal matter?"
Yeah, like the very Final Fantasy VIII then.
And then everyone you speak to, it's like, "Oh, I'm a pretty good fecal matter champion. Do you fancy a game?" You're like, "Oh
Gwent.
no, there's going to be." Yeah, so this one, I think you collect pieces, and then I was just like, no, I'm done with this. Like, it was fine, I guess, in like Triple Triad in Final Fantasy VII, and then you had Gwent, and they started putting it into loads of stuff, and you're just kind of like, I get it, but if you start making stuff like that, like an integral way of unlocking certain things through the game,
yeah,
it can become a proper pain in the arse.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's just a shame that's in there, but if people love that, that's fine. Obviously, you collect more people, and good luck with the tutorial on that, because it didn't really make much sense to me.
Is that Square Enix?
It is, yeah. It's Tri-Ace. Square Enix published it.
Because they've put out,
I believe,
like 3 games in the space like 2 weeks. Like they did the Tactics Ogre remaster, and they've put some Harvestella. So there's quite a lot of games from Square in a very short space of time. No.
It's probably coming up to their sort of physical, but
yeah,
who knows? They've obviously got some big releases coming next year as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game's like obviously celebrating X amount of years in the franchise.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I've apparently heard it was a make or break game as well. So depending on how well it did would mean like the future for the franchise. And I think it's done reasonably well. It's done hopefully enough to save it.
Yeah.
And it is kind of fun. It has its own unique art style as well.
And the graphics quite not great.
They're kind of weird. No,
Right.
they're decent enough, but they're kind of weird. Like I say, the character models aren't what you'd normally expect from a JRPG. They're sort of stylized in a way.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool, man. All right, so I'll bang out my last few then. If that is that your last one, Darren? You got anything else? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Main
All
line wise.
right. All right. So another new game come out this week. Atari 50th anniversary collection. It's fucking awesome, man. I've not played it much at all, and I don't know how many games are on it. I'm guessing there's 50 games on there. Don't quote me on that. There's a fuckload. But it's really cool because it goes like there's loads of videos and a history timeline of all the consoles on this. There's Jaguar games on this collection, which is really cool, and like the Lynx. But I was playing it because I only picked up today. I was like, the only game I've played on it is Breakout because I'm a huge Breakout fan. But so what they did is they remastered. Well, not remastered. They like kind of did a remaster twist on a selection of the games, and one of them is Breakout. And basically, like the first level is like old school Breakout, like the old shitty graphics and that. But you finish the level, and then Breakout breaks out into the future, and then the rest of the game's like, modern day Breakout with all the fancy graphics and music and stuff. So I was playing that for ages. Breakout, I love it. And I'll just watch some of the old Atari, just some of the videos, because it's actually a really neat package. Because it has the timeline, and you could like you can filter the games into systems or dates they've come out, and a few other ways. And then there's on one of the modes is basically there's like a timeline of videos where they're speaking to like the founders of Atari and some of the devs and talk about some of the games and the arcade games and stuff like that. So for people that are really into retro stuff, it's really good. So yeah, I know Dan's picked it up today as well, so it'd be interesting to see what he thinks about it. But yeah, I'll be talking about that more in a couple of weeks because I've not really played much of it, but I just wanted to give it a quick shout out because it's really, really good. And the last few games I've played, been trying to carry on with Plague Tale, and it's fucking awesome. I'm loving it. It's just so long that I just don't know when it's going to end. But I'm just loving the puzzles, loving the story. The graphics are just insanely amazeballs. Probably some of the best I've ever seen. So especially if you've got Game Pass, it's definitely a game to check out. But I'll be talking about that some more in a couple of weeks. Vampire Survivors hit console Game Pass this week. It's been on PC Game Pass for a while.
Fucking awesome game.
It is, well, I'm actually playing it more now because now it's come onto console. There's achievements attached to it, and the achievements are now transferred over to the PC version as well. So I've actually got more of an incentive to play it. It just has that one more go, pick up and play thing. It's just weird because it's like there's one map and there's 4 different characters that you can unlock, and they just auto attack. And as you kill the enemies and pick up the level up blue things, you level up and you can add upgrades like more whips or like magic spells and stuff like that. And it just auto attacks, and you can get upgrades to make the auto attack speed be quicker and stuff. And then once you die on the main menu, you can buy upgrades as well for you.
Well, you earn gold, and so the more you play it, the better you'll get at it because you'll be able to afford more upgrades, permanent upgrades.
Yeah,
help you.
Yes, it's well worth it, man. It's a fun little game, man.
Even if you haven't got Game Pass, it's £4. It's $3.99.
Yeah,
like for what it is. Like you're gonna get your $3.99's worth.
Oh, most definitely. It's a lot of fun. It really, really is. Yeah, I've been playing that, and then the last game I've been playing a lot with my little boy. I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Totally Reliable Delivery Service. he's still hooked on this game. Like, every day I'd be like, Daddy, let's play the silly stuff game, because that's what he calls it. And you guys have just got to try it at some point. It's just frustrating but funny at the same time, because the characters are like jelly. So like it's like really hard to pick things up and move objects and then drive and stuff.
It's like
Because it's
human
just
fall flat.
it's like that. Yeah, yes, very much like
I've played
that.
it. I've played it.
Or like Octo Dad or something.
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit. Yeah, a little bit like that.
yeah, it's just like the controls are just all over the place. Yeah, so you got to deliver these parcels, and like and then you got to do them like with different vehicle stuff. But even the act of picking up a parcel and putting it into the back of a truck is so fucking annoying, but hilarious at the same time. Yeah, it's just one of those games that my boy just loves, like, because you can play split screen co-op on it, and you don't even have to do the deliveries, like, because it's an open world, and you can just go around and like just find a plane, fly it around together, or just dick around, and there's like a fairground and
What's
there's
it called
boats.
again? I'm going to look it up later just for a laugh.
Totally reliable delivery service.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so good. It is hilariously funny. Yeah, so that's what I've played, dudes.
Cool.
Right, Stunty, I don't know if you're going to go now. We've only got like one question and a couple of bits of news, so I don't know if you want to stick around for those.
No, I got to go anyway because I've got
Oh,
to
mate.
sort someone out in the house. So.
Oh, mate, that's all right.
all
That's
right.
no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So,
thank you very
nice
much for
having you
coming
on,
on, mate.
mate.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you back.
That's all right, and I'll see you at some point in the future. I don't know when. So.
Yeah, well, don't leave it as long next time, mate.
No,
It's always
I
good
try
to have
not
you
to.
on. Yeah.
So yeah, cool. So yeah, and see you around.
See you around, mate. Catch you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
So, Darren, news-wise, I've only got a couple of bits of news, actually. I've probably missed a load, but, yeah. So there's a next-gen update coming for The Witcher 3. It's
given us a date yet or anything?
yeah,
Or...
14th of December.
Oh.
And it's going to be free for anyone who owns the game already.
I'll have to reinstall it all. Oh, it's a pity you didn't tell Stunty this. He loved The Witcher, didn't he?
Well, if he listens back
He'll
to the
find
show,
out anyway.
yeah. Oh, well, Elliot's just put it in
I'm
our
sure
WhatsApp
Elliot will
group.
mention, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool for console owners. I think that's already out on. I don't think that's happening on PC because it's already got all the settings on it. But I think that's really cool for console players, especially. So, it's another excuse to play one of the greatest games ever
Just
made.
in time for the next season of The Witcher to probably come out.
Oh, I'm not. Well, the next one's the last one with Henry Cavill, isn't it? This season coming because it's already been done, isn't it? You there, mate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be season 3, yeah. The one that Henry Cavill's last season.
Yeah, because they've changed the actor, haven't they? Which is fucking annoying, man. Just really pissed me
See, we
off.
don't know if he actually walked away from it himself or whether it's because he's got a lot of other work elsewhere and can't commit time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, mate.
I know he kind of wasn't particularly happy with the way the show went.
No, because he's actually a big fan of the games. Yeah. So
kind of gets it in that way. It's like, no, we're fans of stuff. We love it like this. Don't fuck around with it.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but
us fans will appreciate it, and we don't see why non-fans wouldn't, because it's a great story.
Yeah. Battlefield 2042 is coming to Game Pass in December. I don't have a precise date for it, but it has been announced it's coming to Game Pass in December. It's 1 year anniversary.
Wow, which feels like that came out a long time ago.
Well, for me, it doesn't feel like it's been out that long. I mean, I bought it on launch.
Oh, it's because you've still played it, I suppose, for a few months.
Yeah, but it's just like that
launch and the horror story.
Yeah, the year has gone fast, and the game is vastly improved now. Anyway, so I think it's gonna obviously increase the in-game population, which is fantastic. And I hope it saves the game a little bit because it is actually really, really good now. So, yeah, that's really, really cool. But also, just talking about EA, my last piece of news that I found, they have killed Project Cars franchise and the Dirt franchise.
What?
Yep, no more Project Cars or Dirt games.
Are they just putting them on a back burner, or are they just
No.
like never going to make them again?
No, that's it. They've killed the franchises because EA bought out Codemasters, didn't they? No, Codemaster Games.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not surprised with Project Cars because Project Cars 3 didn't do very well at all. It was completely different to Project Cars 2 because it went arcadey, whereas Project Cars 2 is a proper sim. And then I don't think the Dirt games have been selling super well, maybe. Yeah.
Good enough for them, I suppose, as a company.
Yeah. That's all my news. Have you got anything else? Any other news?
Not that I can particularly of note or worth mentioning, really.
No, I mean that Microsoft Activision thing is still going on. There's been no updates on that I've seen.
It just seems like an stupid, inevitable delay. Like everyone's like at this point, just be like, just fucking okay, just carry on. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know,
Does it
mate.
really fucking matter? You're banging on about one franchise, and you just literally brought out a game that everyone's loving at the moment. And
Yeah, that's
possibly
it.
game of the
Yeah.
year. I get it's two companies greedily fighting over money, and it's like, yeah, carry on.
Cool, man. All right.
There was the.
Yeah.
I will say there was that stupid fucking story bollocks about Final Fantasy 16, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, it's fucking retarded. I don't think we need to mention it anymore. It's just clickbait from IGN, I think.
Yeah, it's just annoying that obviously you just like these companies must know if these people are just going to come out and be like, yeah,
Yeah, I know.
we're
It's
going to start
frustrating.
asking all these fucking questions about like why you've done this and that. And if you don't like what we like your reply, we're gonna write entire shit about it. And it's
Oh
like,
no, it's
alright.
ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, so ridiculous.
Just allow people to create what they want to create.
Yep. My thoughts exactly. Yep.
You don't have to fucking tick box everything.
Yep. That's all we're gonna say on the matter. Right. So going to the news.
I thought that was the news.
On to the questions. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Going to the questions. Yeah. So
Yeah.
D Twin put a picture of the Game of the Year awards. The nominees. They are Plague Tale, Requiem. So Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Stray, and Xenoblade 3. And he says, thoughts on the Game of the Year nominations and who do you think will win? That's quite interesting.
I personally would say Elden Ring will win it. That seems to me like the easy shoe-in. Like we can all say God of War, fantastic game. I haven't played it all the way through. I can't really say yet personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Elden Ring's
more
pretty
people
much a
have
sure.
access. More people have access to Elden Ring.
Yeah, the thing with Elden Ring for me is it feels like forever since it came out now.
It wasn't long ago. It's only about 6 or 7 months ago.
It feels like it came out ages ago. I don't know why. I think it's because, like, when it came out, played it so much, so much, and then finished it, and then it just kind of like the conversation just dried up. Whereas when I think back to it, though, I think, at the time, everyone was playing at the same time. Some of the co-op experiences were great, and our Discord channel for it was just buzzing for about a month. Yeah. So that's why I think it's going to win Game of the Year, because like everyone just had so many good experiences on it. But yeah, it's just weird for me. Like it happens every year when games come out early on in the year. I have to spend a little while just thinking back to it because the end of the year is always so damn busy.
Although this year doesn't feel like it has been. Like we've said this before over the year. Like you remember back to the 360 era.
Yeah.
I'd literally have weeks where I'd be like, so and so, and such and such is out next week, and I'm buying them all.
Yeah.
And that would happen weeks on the bounce. Now you're usually like, oh, there's a decent one this week, another one couple of weeks, and one the week after or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing, like, I've felt like I've always had something to play, though. That's the thing. Especially with Game Pass and stuff, there's always something to play, which is pretty good. So I don't.
We've still got the Callisto Protocol to come as well. The end of this year.
That's only a few weeks away. That's out beginning of December, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 14th. It's 14th of November now, mate. So we've only got a few weeks away because
it's literally about just over 2 weeks. Fucking hell, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I must admit, yeah, they've already started plastering the Christmas ads over like everything on the ad breaks and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good sales on alcohol in the supermarkets though currently.
Yeah. Always is this time of year.
Yeah.
All right, Dodo
Forget
says...
all your worries about not being able to heat your house. Just drink yourself into a stupor instead.
Dodo says, what's the most disappointing game you pre-ordered? That's quite a good question.
I can't honestly think.
Well, while you're thinking, the game that sprung... Brink? Did you pre-order that?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh my goodness! Like for me, the game that sprung to my mind was Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and it wasn't the actual.
And I'll tell you the reason why. Yeah, sorry, I'll quickly tell you the reason why I pre-ordered Brink because it was like I'm sure it was a game exclusive edition I was after.
Oh yeah,
it come with extra pointless shit. Like to unlock in the game that I'd be playing for like literally 24 hours total and be done with.
No. Oh my goodness, that game was a running joke. So
should have been amazing.
Yeah,
that was one of those original games where everything you were promised was kind of like, nah, not what we got.
Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating. Yeah. So yeah, for Lords of Shadow 2, just the reason it sprung to my mind was because I
because
remember
of the pre-order shit you got.
Yes. So I remember, so me and my missus went to like a game launch thing, right? Like party, yeah, and because of obviously the podcast, and they brought out the collector's edition in this fucking coffin thing, and I opened it up. And the figures inside were so fucking shit. I was like, I spent 100 quid on this piece of shit. What the fuck?
Weren't they like the size of Warhammer figures or something?
Yeah. It was so shit. I couldn't believe how bad it was. It was, it was such a letdown because the original Lords of Shadow was one of my favourite games of that generation. And they just fucking let us down with Lords of Shadow 2. I mean, that is easily the worst collector's edition ever made. It was so poor, so shoddy. Yeah, that's what always springs to my mind.
It was so Konami.
Oh, it's just fucking annoying, man. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, drove all the way to fucking... It was in Peterborough. And at the game headquarters there for like this Castlevania party. Yeah, and I just remember the disappointment, that feeling of utter disappointment when I was like, oh my god, this is so shit.
I think like Bethesda are like one of the best for special editions and 2K with like the Bioshock stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my big regrets is selling my Oblivion Collector's Edition.
I've still got that with the golden septim coin.
Yeah, such a good collector's edition. I'm fucking so annoyed I got rid of that. And that's because it's worth quite a lot of money now. Yeah. Clarky asks, have you bought a game due to hype only, then to find out it's a load of shit? Oh, fucking hell. I don't know, probably.
I think we all must have at some point been like, oh, we expected this to. Yeah, Aliens Colonial Marines.
Oh, yeah.
Fell into that.
Yeah.
But I will say I got my money's worth out of Aliens Colonial Marines.
Or just because of the laughs.
That game multiple times, and the laughs I had on it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the funniest thing. I was playing it back in the day with Fueled by Beer in co-op, and one of some acquaintance we knew popped online, and he'd got into like the power loader, and he was walking around, and it looked so horrendously bad. We was like wetting ourselves with laughter. And the guy came in and said, "Oh, you playing that new Aliens game? That's supposed to be pretty good." And it was like, "No, it's fucking terrible, mate." And he was like, "Oh, I'm all right, fair enough." And then like he bought it. He went and bought it.
Oh my goodness.
And then he came in, it's like, "This is fucking terrible." And I'm like, "We told you it was." Like, pretty bad.
Oh my goodness.
In the fact that we literally tried to clear this. There's a part in the very first map or level where you've got to protect these guns.
Yeah.
And there was an achievement in the game for making sure no alien ever got over a barricade near where these gun nests were.
Yeah.
So we was going through it like trying to mop stuff up. So we whacked it onto the easiest difficulty. Didn't even get close. And then we started playing through the whole game from the start, just like, let's do a really hard difficulty playthrough. We got to that bit, first time.
Yep.
And we just couldn't believe it. It was like, what are you talking about? Have they reversed the difficulties on this game or what? What is going on? I didn't even get anywhere near it on the easiest setting, but yeah, on the hardest settings, first time.
That's so bizarre. Good game. That's all the questions, my dude.
That's fair enough.
So I think we pretty much end it here, to be honest.
It's been a couple of hours at least.
Yeah, Nick's going to be back next week.
I'm not going to be here actually next week because I'm working all the following week.
You've planned this, so you don't have to talk about the Xbox One special.
No, it's like bloke that works on holiday, so I've got to fill his slot.
That's fair enough, mate.
4-day shift a week. Yeah, early starts.
Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. All right, so next week's going to be me and Nick. Maybe I can convince one of the other old guys to come on to talk about the Xbox One and how disappointing the launch was. I
actually liked the couple of the launch titles. I mean, I could mention them here before, if no one else will.
Well, the only ones I like, Battlefield, but that was on the 360 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy that. I really enjoyed Rise as kind of like the single
that was good. Yeah,
game. It was very story based and whatnot, but it was still kind of fun, and I enjoyed it. And it was a good game that did show off like what the newer systems could do.
Yeah,
because obviously you had that generally on the Xbox, and then on the PlayStation you had Killzone, which was quite nice at showing off what that could do, etc.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed Dead Rising 3. Like, it's probably my favourite Dead Rising.
Oh, that's good.
Out of all of them. And I did like a lot of the others as well, but I don't know, it just seemed like there was a hell of a lot more zombies in the crowds that you could just mow down, and they gave you such a variety of ways of doing it in that one, and the time limit was a lot more lenient.
Okay, fair enough.
You could actually get stuff done.
Yeah.
But they're all good in their own way, actually. Like you had shopping mall, and then the whole of. I did really enjoy 2, Dead Rising 2. It was a Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, 4 was the only one that pissed me off, mainly because I ran into a game-breaking bug every time I played it, and I couldn't progress. And I was
Didn't one of them have
so
like
happy.
an Xbox downloadable game, like prequel or something? I can't remember now. I'm sure.
Yes, yeah, we talked about it before. Nick brought it up, I think, last one we did. It was
Okay.
like the Dead. It was either Nick or Elliot.
Right.
There was like a prequel to Dead Rising 2,
Okay.
like Case Zero or something. Was it called?
Yeah,
Maybe.
sounds about right. Yeah. Hmm. Cool, man. Well, shall we end it here then,
Next
my
time we'll
dude?
be on, we will have hopefully been playing Dark Tide.
Oh yes, that'll be good. Get some co-op going on that,
Like you
man.
say, you'll get it. Well, exactly. With it being on Game Pass, you know you're going to have people to play it with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Even the
it's really
guy I
good.
play Fortnite with, he was saying, I could really do with like finding another co-op game to play it every now and again. And I said to him, like, well, that's out in a couple of weeks. It's basically like, he doesn't give a shit about Warhammer or any of that, but he
Yeah,
does like FPSs and stuff. And I
yeah,
said, it's basically like a Left 4 Dead style game, but you're on a spaceship going around
yeah.
beating the shit out of like freaks and aliens. And I said, it's on
So
Game Pass, so you don't have to
yeah,
pay for it. Just download it,
ain't
try it
better,
out.
innit? Yeah. Good times. Good times indeed. Cool, man. Well, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna go and chill out before Betty buys time. But thank you so much for coming on. We'll miss you next week talking about the Xbox One. So yeah, so for me, Mark Webb, Gamma Tag, Piss on D, Steam ID, Webby 360G.
And Sensei Switch.
And again, a big thanks for Stunty coming on as well. It was nice to have him on. So from all of us here, it's been awesome, and I'll hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.